All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicole Christensen, and welcome to the webinar this January to start our new year called Fresh Start, Declutter, and Modify Your Home. I thought this was a great way to begin our year. I think all of us could use a little bit, even those that are really good at it. I am not really good at it. And so, let's begin. Again, I'm the CEO of Care Answered, which provides patient advocacy and care coordination, navigating people through the healthcare system during the most difficult times, during any kind of transition of care. I'm also the author of the book From Crisis to Calm. And our my new project, Answers for Care, is a village of senior care solutions. So you'll be able to find that as soon as next week at answers for the number 4 care.com. So without further ado, let me introduce these fabulous presenters that we found on this topic, all folks that we have been working with, and as I always say, part of the Care Answered family or village now. So let me start with Tina. I'm going to share a short bio and let you know also that I met Tina a few months, maybe almost 6 months ago, from another colleague, and she just shows herself to be so in it, so caring, and really knows her stuff. So Tina O'Keefe is the founder and COO, which is Chief Organizing Officer of Stow and Behold. She is a writer, a returned Peace Corps volunteer from the Ukraine, and graduate of the University of Pennsylvania. Go Quakers! I didn't know that they were the Quakers, but I am enthusiastic. She has worked as a public relations account executive, communications consultant, copywriter, and then discovered by accident that professional organizing was actually something you could do for a living. In 2005, she started working as an organizer, and in 2013, Stow and Behold was born. Her business helps all individuals, but specializes in helping seniors getting ready to move, recovering from a move, or who want to stay where they are and be happier and healthier. So she lives in Stewart Manor on Long Island with her husband, 3 daughters, and dog. So I'm going to have Tina take it away from here, and then I'll introduce Kim afterwards. Thanks so much for being here, Tina.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Can you see my screen?
Oops.
Hello? Hi?
Yes, you're back. Okay.
Can you see my
Yes, we
screen?
can see your screen.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Awesome. So, hi, my name is Tina O'Keefe. My business is Stow and Behold, and I'm a professional organizer. And today we're going to talk about strategies to get organized and declutter. And I will tell you that I really enjoy speaking about organizing because the truth is that not every individual can afford or is motivated to hire an organizer, but people still want to know, like, what do I need to do if I want to do it myself? So I do this presentation with the idea that I'm going to arm you with the tools needed so that if you wanted to do this on your own or help someone you love or a client declutter, that you would kind of have at least a baseline of how to do it. So this is basically like my trade secrets, of what I tell people when they want to get organized. Oh, hold on, it won't let me advance. There we are. So just a quick, what is a professional organizer? Sometimes, not very often, but people hire me and I'm not a cleaning lady and I'm not a handyman, although I do often have to wipe down surfaces to get things organized when I put things back, and I do often assemble things and repair things. So I do those things, but ultimately an organizer is really someone who's supposed to put in systems and processes so that whatever it is that's causing the clutter doesn't keep repeating itself. So understanding the behaviors that are behind it and trying to improve them. So sometimes when I meet with people, the first session is very talky because we have to get to know each other, but also learning, where are the challenges and really what's causing them? Is it health? Is it time? Is it busyness? Is it, ADHD or other types of issues that are happening? And a little bit about myself, we already heard, all of this, but what I wanted to emphasize is that I am service focused. So the idea is that whenever I take out of someone's home is I try to donate as much of that as possible. I'm there to help people, but also I want to make it a win-win for everybody. And actually, surprisingly, donation is a really good incentive for people who are reluctant to give things away. But if they think it's going in the garbage, they don't want to. But if they think it's getting donated, they're really much more inclined to let go of something. So and I really, it makes everyone feel good when we're donating. So that is my background in the Peace Corps and all that is really part of that idea that just like in it to help people. So step by step. I always tell people, you can't wake up in the morning and just be like, I'm going to organize today all day. Like, first of all, it's not realistic. No one organizes for 8 hours unless you're sitting on your couch watching people organize on a television show, and then you can do that for 8 hours, but ultimately you can't organize. Really, when I meet with a client, 3 to 4 hours is like the amount of time where they'll burn out. It's just, even if they're not actively doing things, the emotional process of making those decisions and going through all that, it can take its toll. People don't realize, and they're like, wow, I'm so tired. Like your brain is tired. So it is good to plan organizing, and understand like what you're trying to accomplish, why you're trying to accomplish it. I think many of us feel overwhelmed by clutter. I know how many of you, I will raise my hand because I have 3 kids, 3 teenagers, and they are not compliant with the organizing business. And then there are people who have their clutter under control, but then they're looking for a refinement. So that's sort of like what I tell people is sometimes you're not going to walk in and it's not going to be perfect the first time you touch everything, but you're going to take what I call the first pass and then the second pass. The first pass is like what's there, getting rid of the garbage, getting rid of the extra stuff. And then then you have what you have. And then maybe you want to beautify that system, colored trays, clear baskets and bins and things like that. So it's sometimes there's a level of refinement, but the first there's a first pass that has to happen where you just identify what's there and sort of corral it and put it into categories. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, first pass and second pass. Okay, and then part of making an action plan is understanding why you need to declutter. There are reasons like just general stress. You want things to look nicer. Potential moves, that's a big one. Someone's moving in, someone's moving out. My daughter got divorced. She's going to come live with us. She's got my grandchild. There's all these things that happen. And all of a sudden, you need to make space for them. And health and safety are 2 very big ones. I have clients who get a shot from the allergist every week. But when I go there, I'm like, the amount of dust that's here, if we actually cleaned, decluttered and cleaned, you probably would have a lot less sensation of allergies, sneezing, etc. I think you're causing some of the allergies yourself. And then safety, the falling, the too much furniture or old rugs that are bunched up because there's too much furniture, or furniture gets moved incorrectly, and all those things we're very familiar with. So the idea is that we want to reduce the clutter, optimize the space, restore happiness. It's super simple, right? I wish it was so simple. Why is it important for you to declutter? And again, like, organizing is not something, yes, we all kind of can agree on some parameters, but it's very personal to the individual. Thinking about your home as a reflection of who you are. There's all different reasons why people want to declutter. And part of what I do is try to get to the heart of like, what are we trying to accomplish? For some people it is aesthetic. And for some people it's really very practical. It doesn't have to look good. I want to live independently, and I can't reach high and I can't bend low. So I need things to be in the middle. And so it's about like just making things comfortable for who you are. And when people tell me like, oh, I wish I could be an organizer, I'm so good at organizing. But sometimes as an organizer, you're organizing to the specification of the client. And that's not always what you want. It's what they need. And that's kind of a different conversation. Creating a legacy of treasures, not junk. A lot of times people mix the important stuff with, sometimes there's important papers mixed in with the newspapers and the magazines. And so it's important, the idea that if something should happen, people can find what they need and find the things that are important and not have to sift through trash and other types of miscellaneous things. Next, we're going to talk about what it takes to get organized. So again, part of this plan is that, these are obstacles: time, energy, distractions, not having a strategy, being tired or having back problems, feeling guilty, or having issues with hoarding behavior. And to overcome this obstacle, I'll tell people, organizing is like anything else. Make an appointment, like you would with your doctor. Say Saturday morning, we're going to do this. And don't make the appointment at 7 o'clock in the morning. Don't say, I'm going to get up Saturday at 6 a.m. and I'm going to organize. If you're someone who has to get up, have breakfast, take a pill, and then your body gets going, and then you can, so maybe 10 o'clock is a more reasonable time to get going. And don't go out partying the night before. Make sure that you're rested, and turn off your phone, turn off the TV, put music on, but you're not going to chat on the phone, you're not going to check your emails. You're going to have a clear strategy. You're going to make a plan. It's going to be this room, this closet, like be a little bit specific so that it's manageable, and get help if you need help. If you have health issues, I always tell people, ask a friend, ask a cleaning lady, whoever is available to give you some help. And if there's guilt because the items in the home don't belong to you, then communicate with that person and say, sweetheart, you've had your school books here for 10 years. I'm giving you 6 months. And then I think we're going to, you can come look at them, and then they have to go. And, I always tell, I work with a lot of people who have chronic disorganization and display hoarding tendencies. And I will tell you that, you can go in and organize, but it's going to go back to where it was if they're not seeing a counselor or a therapist. So that's a kind of an important part of it. It doesn't mean that you can't organize. It just means that you need a little bit of help getting to what are the triggers for that particular behavior. So once we have our plan, we have to execute on this plan. And executing is often the part that people are like, I don't know where to start. So here is a really basic system. This system really can be applied to any organizing. So the basement, the attic, the bedroom, the kitchen, the cabinet, the closet, the garage, whatever it is, you need to pair. You need to purge, which is to take everything out and look at it. And when I say take everything out, that means if you're going to organize your closet, you should take everything out and look at it. And a lot of times people fight me on this one. This is the one where they're like, oh, I know what's in there. You don't have to take it out. And, you don't know until you lay it all out that you have 17 bottles of hairspray. You didn't know it. You suspected it, that there was a lot, but you didn't know how many until you really take it all out. And they're hiding in the back, that top shelf where you can't reach. So it's really important to take everything out and look at it. Also, remember that organizing is a great time to assess what's happening in a space. So I had a client who I took everything out of the closet, and they fought me on the bottom. They said it's all cleaning supplies, and my cleaning lady uses those supplies and she knows what's there. And I said, let's just take everything out just to see. When we did, there was black mold growing in the back of the closet because there had been a leak a month prior, and she didn't realize that water had seeped into that closet. And so there was a whole manifestation of something really biological happening in the back of the closet. So organizing is a great time to take a good look at spaces. Take everything out. Is the shelf bending? Maybe there's too much weight on it, things like that. You can see when you take everything out. And then when you assess, it means that you make a decision about each item. Is it going to be kept? Is it going to be donated? Like, do I need this? Does it need to live here? Like, if it's the Cuisinart, does it need to live in my linen closet in the bathroom? Or does it need to be in the kitchen? So making the decisions, and then putting back is return. So return means putting back the things that you want to keep in those spaces. And then exit is the things go away that you don't want anymore. And you decide how those are going away. If that's giving it to someone, if it's donating it, throwing it in the garbage, recycling it, selling it, whatever that is going to be. And I will tell you that return is the step where you buy the organizing stuff. Everyone wants to buy the organizing stuff before we even organize. They want to go to the Container Store. They want to go to Target. They want to buy the bins, the baskets, the totes. It's so fun. They spend a fortune. They're like, I've got so much great stuff. And then you go to put it in the closet and it doesn't fit. So what I like to tell people is let's purge and assess. And then when we put things back, we can say, it'd be really great to have a bin or a tote or a basket or whatever. And then we measure the height, the depth, and the width. And then we buy something that's appropriate for that space so that it actually works and it does the job you want it to do. And you'll be surprised. A lot of times I use things that people already have. or we'll come up with different solutions like a lazy Susan or, all that kind of stuff. So, but don't buy before unless, you have a don't buy before. Actually, there's no contingent on that. Okay. And then where to start. So this is also a big question. People always ask, where do I start? Where do I start? So I always just say, pick this troubled spot and get to work. So, where whatever's bothering you the most, that's usually what I ask people, what's bothering you the most. And we start there. I do like to work top to bottom and I love throwing big bags of clothes down the stairs. It's like my favorite activity. It just makes you feel, it's just funny and it's fine. And we use gravity. So that's great. And sometimes starting in the center, like the kitchen is often a good place. Or a lot of times, if you want to clean up the kitchen, you end up needing to create a pantry. So sometimes we want to clean the kitchen or organize the kitchen, but we end up organizing maybe part of the basement or a closet or something else because we need a place to store items. So sometimes we need to make space in order to clear another space. And then what you need to buy. So like I said, don't buy stuff before, but it's nice to have Sharpies and markers on hand. Post-it notes are convenient. Bins or baskets, even laundry hampers, empty boxes are good just to like put things in categories, and trash and recycling bags. If you're doing paper, I recommend having folders in hanging files just to start sorting the papers out. And, work in manageable chunks of time. Do not say you're going to work for 8 hours because that's really not practical. 3 to 4 hours is usually the magic amount of time. Make an appointment with yourself, no calls, no breaks, and set boundaries. You'll have, duration is energy. So just, the more economical you work, the longer you can go. So be smart about how you spend your time. And then this is just a chart of like who can help you. So there's pros and cons. Family and friends are free. It's really important that if someone's helping you to get organized or you're helping somebody, that they set parameters, that they set, rules about what's okay to throw away and what's not, and that they're the ultimate decision maker. It's their stuff, it's your stuff. So you need to make the decisions about it. It's really good to hire sometimes a cleaning lady or a handyman, but know that you have to pay them, but also that you have to be very specific with what you want. They will do what you ask them to do, but if you're not sure, they're not going to be able to help. So a professional organizer is someone that you would pay, but they would also be able to give you ideas and guide you through the process. And then staying organized is what we call maintenance, right? So once we get organized, it would be great if it just stayed that way, but we know that that's not how it works. The mail keeps coming. So we call these paper cuts. Paper cuts sting, they hurt. It is wonderful to go digital, but the truth is that you're still going to get paper mail. It's going to happen. There's newspapers, newsletters, and all different kinds of things. So if you can go digital, it is really convenient. Not everyone is comfortable with that. So I just tell people you have to set time each week, however you want to structure it, each day, each week, but there has to be a time that you sit down and go through it and put it, set up a system, and then you maintain that system every week so that it doesn't get ahead of you. And that's how, you can stay on top of it. And charitable solicitations are, I love charities, but they do become very overwhelming for people. And I will tell you that you can take your name off those lists if you're diligent, but you need to stop donating to them, which is kind of hard for some people to do. But if you write take me off your mailing list and put it back in the envelope that they give you and mail it, eventually you'll get off their list. So those are just some tips and tricks that I give my clients. And remember, look at the process. If you're trying to work with paper, just look at the process that you have. Like, where do you get your mail? Where do you sort your mail? Where do you keep your, the important papers, and setting time to do that. So it's a process, and it's kind of, you have to just maintain it. Paper is time management. And then just a quick note about emergency documents. You should know where these things are. You should have someone trusted who also knows where they are, and they should not be in a bank. Things like a healthcare proxy shouldn't be in the bank, because if something happens to you, someone can't get into the bank to get it. So these things should be kept safely in your home. And someone should know where they are, and you should know where they are, and they should not be mixed up with the magazines and newspapers. That's a big one. In terms of your computer, I always tell people, organize your computer like you would organize a filing cabinet. have categories and then subcategories within that. And helping people with organizing computers is definitely something that I've done. And there's also classes at libraries that often work with people on these types of topics. So it's a good place to start if you're not sure and you're not comfortable on the computer. Storage is a big no for me. That's an X, no storage. Only if it's an emergency, like it's short term, like you're moving or doing construction. If you need it for business reasons or legal reasons, you have to keep items for a certain amount of time. But otherwise, storage is the place that things go to die. And often when they come out, you say, oh, I spent so much money on storage. I don't want this anymore. And I could have gone to Hawaii. So go to Hawaii and get rid of the storage. It's a waste. And if you work for a storage company, I'm sorry, but I'm just saying. Okay. And lastly, tricks for maintaining, touch paper only once, purge things regularly. Like if you have, children or grandchildren, toys are a good thing to kind of keep purging. And I use different tricks like, how old are you going to be? Oh, you're going to be 7. Well, if you give away 7 toys, then, you can get birthday presents. I was a mean mom, but it gets young people involved in the process and starts to create awareness about how, you have to give to get, you have to make space. You have to keep organizing on the regular basis. And then encourage a routine for older people and younger people. Don't ask them to do something that is out of their ability. So it's important to say like, hang up your jacket, but putting something on a hanger that's high, it can be cumbersome. So, put hooks, make it easy, make organizing easy for the people that you live with or share space with. And, make systems that are fair for everybody, that is doable, practical. Don't make it hard. And where do things go once you organize? We live in New York. So I don't know if everyone on the call is from New York, but in New York, there's so many wonderful resources for donating, selling. There's usually really good recycling programs. So this is something that I literally am putting a snippet here. There are so many places that are available to us to give away things, places that pick up, places where you drop off. But it is really easy to keep things out of the landfill. And I always encourage my clients as much as possible to use charities and social media, buy nothing pages to give things away. And then when you're helping others, I always tell people, check your attitude at the door, be respectful, be empathetic. Remember, this is their stuff. They're the decision makers, and pick your battles. If something is triggering, it's emotional, let's not organize that thing. Let's move on to something else. I'm sure there's plenty of other things. And, the individual obviously is the decision maker. And then we stow it and we behold, and we are thrilled. And here are just some before and after pictures. And what I want to emphasize with the pictures is that, this is a space where I had an hour left with a client. She said, go in the basement and take a look and see what you think. And I set the clock for an hour. And in an hour, I took this IKEA type storage unit and we cleaned it up. Most of the stuff I took pictures of and showed it to her. And she said, that's garbage, that's garbage, that's garbage, that's donation. We gave away most of the stuff. And what you'll see in this picture is that at the top, there's a main street. Those buildings are made out of Lego. And her teenage daughter had built those and they were shoved into these baskets. So I took it out and I laid them across the top. And when she came home from school, right before I was leaving, she was so excited that they were on display. And the idea is that it didn't take much time. It just took a little bit of decision making. And we restored something that someone really cared about. And that's always what I want to emphasize, that it's really nice to get rid of the clutter and then be able to admire and share the things that you really love, that you're proud of. And then again, this is just someone's childhood bedroom that was overrun with 18 bins of yarn. And we gave all the yarn away to different crafting organizations that knit for veterans, for NICUs and for seniors. And so we made a lot of people happy with those donations. And then this is just another nonprofit, a storage room. The back of the storage room was filled with clutter from a church upstairs. And no one thought to ever ask, is it okay to get rid of the stuff? And the church was like, oh yeah, we thought that was garbage. So we cleaned it out and we were able to create a better storage situation. I think we're going to save questions. Oh no, we were going to do questions now. So if anyone has questions, I'm super happy to answer them. I hope that I didn't go too fast and that I gave you a good insight into some of the things that you need to think about if you're going to organize, and happy to answer any questions anyone has about getting organized and
That was
decluttering.
great. That was great. Thank you so much. And if we have
Oh,
questions, we still have more to speak about, but um, does anybody have any questions they want to
I
get
have a
off mute?
question.
Vivian?
Yes, I'm
Mhm.
sorry I was late. I was visiting my
Mhm.
husband at the rehab place. Um, I was wondering if you have an online um, description of what the whole um, presentation.
Uh,
If
do you
if
want
you
me to
have
share
this
the presentation?
presentation, because I missed half of it really.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's all going to be recorded. So you will get it sent to you as well.
Okay, very well. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely. Millie, did you have a question?
Yes, actually. So I'm a social worker and our agency works with older adults. And I actually do a decluttering group virtually every other Friday at our office. And I think that the biggest challenge that I think practically everyone in the group has, including myself, is paper clutter, right? And so Tina, the ideas that the things that you brought up about the mail and it's the one thing that is constantly coming in no matter how much, so you don't go out buying, to buy more mail, right? So do you have any other suggestions for someone that just has, whether it's mail, magazines, books, things like that, that is easy for them to do, right? Because again, we're working with older adults, so there are medical challenges, there are stability challenges, there's so many challenges. So if you have any suggestions, I would appreciate it so much.
Sure. So I have a client in Manhattan. When I was first called in by her caregiver, it was there's a room in their home that she was beginning to have dementia, and she was very overwhelmed with the paper and the mail. And so she was opening up the door and throwing it in this room and closing the door. And so it got to the point that you couldn't enter the room. There was about 1 foot of paper on the floor, like a sea of just correspondence. So I corralled all the mail. And one of the things I realized was that she was giving away money to a lot of charities. And these charities sell your name to other charities. And, it's just an ongoing process. And she, if you keep donating, they keep sending you, thank you for your donation. Would you like to send us more money? And it's an endless process. So we reduced her mail by 75% by doing what I said. I write with a Sharpie on each letter that she receives saying, take me off your mailing list, put it back in the business reply envelope and mailing it back. And over time, we reduced all of that excess mail. But then, yeah, there's still that 25% that's coming. Some of those charities do not want to stop sending, those dream catchers and other wonderful gift items. So we put them in a box, and then I let her make the decision that we were going to shred them. I do suggest with clients, I role play also. So like, when do you get the mail? Where do you get the mail? When you get it, where do you go with it? When you walk in the house, where do you put it? But okay, so these are bills, but you need to pay your bills. Where do you pay your bills? In the dining room? You have an office? How do we get the paper from here to your office? Maybe there's a basket, maybe your office is upstairs, and if we had a basket at the bottom of the stairs, when you go up at night, you bring up the basket and then you put that in your office. And then that way the mail gets to where it needs to go so you can pay the bill. So things like that, we do a lot of role playing. So some of it is behavioral, dedicating time every week, or periodically, to looking at the mail and filing everything, and having an easy to go to filing system. If you're keeping the paper, it needs to go somewhere, and you're not going to put it away if when you open your filing cabinet, you have to shove the paper in there. If the filing cabinet is loose and easy to put things away, then you're definitely going to do that more. You're more likely to do it. So just again, setting it up for success as much as possible, making it easy for yourself to organize. I hope that
Yeah, there
answers.
was a lot of
Great.
wonderful hints that you gave there that are really practical um, to at least get started. So I really appreciate that, Tina. Thanks for that great question, Millie. And now, Millie, you know Tina, so that's good for
Yeah.
for your group. Any other questions? I don't see anything in the chat. Oh,
Hi,
Diana?
I unmuted. Hi, Tina. I'm Diana from Caring Transitions of Long Island.
Hi.
Sometimes we do a little bit of decluttering and organizing for our clients, depending on what they've hired us to do. But I really enjoy listening to other professionals and your perspective, and perhaps, see if you have some tricks that we can incorporate, because you definitely seem like you know what you're doing. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I always tell people, if there's questions you have, situations or things that you want to try to donate and you're desperate for a resource, like I'm always available. People can email me, text me, and I'll do my best to find a home. I'm working on an organ for someone right now. Someone on Facebook is trying to get rid of an organ.
Oh,
And,
that's so hard.
and I have a client who's a professional organist. And so she's giving me the names of all these societies. And we're working hard to find a home for that organ, so it doesn't have to
That's
go.
amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's a tough
Yeah,
one.
we have to. I facilitate a group of organizers in Long Island. We're all members of NAPO, and we all share resources. So if someone's stuck, we ask each other. So it's always a process of, trying to share what everyone knows so that we can do our best to help people.
Absolutely.
true.
Takes a village, takes a village.
Yes,
So
thank you.
thank you, Diana. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Kim, who is our second presenter, which we're very excited, and you'll see how all of this ties in, Millie, when you were talking about older adults and the limitations of trying to declutter. So Kim Castor is the owner and president of 101 Mobility of Long Island and Queens. At 101 Mobility, they help individuals and families find solutions for accessibility, safety, and independence in their homes. They provide stair lifts, wheelchair ramps, porch lifts, patient lifts, safe patient transfer systems, and home and bath modifications. Some modifications they construct are roll-in showers, tub cutouts, and door widening to stay safely at home or your business. Kim is a certified aging in place specialist designated by the Home Builders Association of America to make these modifications. Her team are in-house staff and warehouse are located in Farmingdale, New York. All installers are trained and certified with each manufacturer we present, as well as background checked and vetted for peace of mind. We provide in-home evaluations that are free of charge and can quote rental as well as purchase options. Kim is a certified minority women-owned business in the counties of Nassau, Suffolk, and New York City. New York State certification is pending. So I've worked with Kim often for my clients and referred clients to her, and they've all been so grateful for that referral. So we're going to get some good information here that we can share with ourselves, our loved ones, our clients, our patients. So take it away, Kim.
Thanks for that, Nicole. Hi, everyone. Kim Kester, owner and president of 101 Mobility. So just a bit about me. Before I took over the business, I was the primary caregiver for my parents and grandmother. So doing that for a couple decades, I went through the Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's piece, a cancer piece, and then just general old age piece. And really so many different means of addressing all of the things we're talking about now came before me. And I call my business a silver lining because I'm able to really do what I love and genuinely help people. So again, my offices, warehouse, and showroom are in Farmingdale, right smack in the middle of Long Island. So we can access easily all of Long Island from Montauk, and then all the way, we do even work in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and sometimes the Bronx, but mostly Queens and Long Island. And so it's really a pleasure to follow Tina's presentation, because that organization and decluttering is really putting the, let's see, the horse before the cart. I think that's it. So we really are the cart. The horse gets everything cleared away, and then the cart behind it, we are going to implement all the different things that can help someone after the family. I'm generally speaking about older individuals to the senior population. And after the decision has been made by the family and the seniors to live at home, then steps need to be taken to really, look at what's going to keep you safe. And the way we do that is we do a full whole home assessment. It's a free assessment. And we're basically doing all of this in the presentation I'm going to go through now with you. And that is neutralizing those danger zones. So with that, let's see. Is my presentation on the screen?
It is, but it hasn't moved yet.
Ah, you see me already. That's like just me with pearls. Moving on. What are the danger zones in the home? Basically, it's all those transfers. When you're going from one place to another, it's oftentimes, 101 mobility against the stairs. So we've got the bed transfers, in and out of bed, in and out of the bathroom, in and out of the tub, and up and down those stairs, whether they be inside or outside the stairs. The stairs are such a dangerous. I really hate this picture because it's not about scare tactics. It's really more about um, understanding that if the fall, you just want to prevent. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure in this situation, because when your time to lose balance is not beneficial to be on the 15th step while you have handfuls of papers and everything else. Holding on to that handrail and having the handrail to hold on to, even if it's in hallways. So you're going, a long corridor, let's say, have those railings in place. And when you're installing those railings, make sure they're not the pinch grip, but the power grip. Allow your whole hand to naturally cover around this handrail so that you really get the full grasp. I mean, the pinch grip, they may look nice, but the power grip, that's what we're aiming for. And here are some examples of some of those handrails that are, often seen. And you can tell, you may not think about that pinch grip versus full hand grip, but it does make a difference. And then when we're talking about your stairs, to kind of educate people about the stair lifts, so many times I get asked the question, is it going to damage my moldings in the staircase? And no, it doesn't touch the walls at all. It won't touch those moldings. What we have is the platforms. As you see, like there's one platform on the bottom of this picture, and those platforms are pretty much one every 3 to 4 steps up the stairwell. And the platform is screwed into the hardwood floors. So they're really, you'll see that in this picture, the armrests, the seat, and the footrest, they're all down. But when you fold them all up, both those 3 things fold up, everything is within a foot of the wall. So really, these are battery operated. So in case, oops, by accident. They're battery operated. So in case power goes out, we've got about 30 rides in there on battery. And the battery is just plugged into a nearby socket using the regular electric. You have the seatbelt, you have 2 remote controls. I can't tell you how many people use this to send up laundry or take down water bottles or whatever it might be. So multitude of uses for it. And then there's a difference between your indoor stair lifts as well as your outdoor stair lifts. The outdoors work on a more powerful motor, and they also have coverings to wear, against the elements. Um, let's see. And then there is a difference between your straight stairwell and your curved staircase. This is where I like to talk about where pricing comes in, because often I always talk about pricing because it really is oftentimes a deal maker as to whether you want to listen and pay attention or not, because is it going to be able to feasible for our family? Also, side note here is our company is private pay. We do take oftentimes long-term care insurance cover these modifications. They're called environmental modifications. And Medicaid has a waiver program that when you speak to your insurance companies, you can go over different things with them. And then the way it happens is that Medicaid will contact us and say, can you install or prepare a bid for us, a quote, in order to, there's 3 different quotes that they need to collect, which is, fair, right? It's what I also recommend everyone private paying doing the same thing. Do your research, understand, you're comparing apples to apples. For instance, in pricing, apples to apples would mean a brand new stair lift compared to another pricing with a brand new stair lift. So brand new, a straight stair lift is $3,450. That includes all installation, it includes everything, warranty, labor for 1 year, manufacture major parts for 10 years. So 3,450 is all in for brand new. Now, you'll see so many advertisements for $1,000 less than that. Yes, we also have that. They happen to be pre-owned. So they're priced according to age of the unit. And that, for instance, a 3 or 4-year-old unit, let's say a 3-year-old, is $2,400. So it's really, we work with people all the time. And in terms of pricing, trying to fit the right, most economical thing for you. And then beyond that, we also have a rental program, which is fantastic for people who want to keep their options open, right? Let's say you're being discharged from rehab, or you're considering, families considering moving down to Florida or something like that. So rental program is fantastic. It carries a 3-month minimum time period. It's $225 a month, and plus installation and removal. And then just after the 3 months, shifts month to month for $225 for however long you want to keep it. Now, those things, the rentals and the pre-owned, they apply to the straight stair lifts. Right in front of you now is a curved stair lift on this left-hand side. That is a custom application as well as the down, and also a 90-degree turn. I can speak to you further about this one, but let me just, the curved stair lift, actually it's not at 11, it's like more like $12,000 and up, because these steel rails are custom bent and curved according to the photo array that's taken. And it is to fit one staircase in one home and one only, because every house just has one small little nuance and it will throw the whole thing off. And safeties will ignite and the whole unit will shut down. There are multitudes of safeties on these units. In case there's like a toy that gets caught in, it will stop the unit. And this is obvious reasons. If, there's a child or a pet that's in the way, it will stop. And so, yeah, the custom curve is pricey. So one of the solutions that we have to the custom curve is here. This is a custom curve here, but oftentimes, particularly if we want to do a short-term rental, I will suggest doing 2 straight stair lifts, because the person, if able to, this is a great solution. That person is able to take the first chair straight up to the landing, get off that chair, do a two-step shuffle onto the next chair, and then go straight up. In doing so, you know, if you're going to do a pre-owned, you know, you could be in there for under $6,000 as opposed to double that price if you do a custom curve. Again, these pricings are all dependent upon everybody's situations. Oftentimes, I have people coming to me and saying, look, mom wants to stay home. We need to make this accessible for her and safe for her because the alternative is going into assisted living or a nursing home where they have, you know, everything is modified for them. But people want to stay at home. And the deal is you can stay at home as long as you do so safely. So these are the types of things that we come to do and make sure you can get in and out of the house safely also. Somehow or another, everybody has, you know, 2 to 4 steps. What you see on the left-hand side is what we most generally do. They're the aluminum modular ramps, and they have the handrails and the non-slip treads on the bottoms. Let's see, and these are configured. Sometimes it's all about the length. Do you hear any background noise, by the way? I want to ask. No, you're good. Okay, good. It's just me. So these are what I suggest is the handrails. It's all about the handrails. I have to use a better word outside of corralling, but you can see these are the other types, are the suitcase ramps, and they have no side rails. This is in a pinch, okay, 1, 2 steps max, but you can see here, I have so many clients that the 83-year-olds caring for the 85-year-old and one big wind gust these days. And I don't want, you know, the struggle to ensue. I don't want the wheelchair going over the side. That's not going to happen in this with a gradual inclination. And ADA sets out guidelines. And the guideline is for every inch of height a step is, you need a foot of ramp so that you don't put grandma on a cliff. Okay. We need to have a gradual, you know, reasonable incline. And that's what we measure for. And we do it in a way that makes sense. You know, we're not going to not install the ramp or insist that you use extra ramp because it doesn't directly hit the target of ADA. For instance, this on the picture on the left, that naturally, the lip on the end naturally falls right to the concrete, right? So you would never, you know, say, okay, I'm going to cut it at the lawn, you know. So we come out to the house, we measure. Sometimes we need platforms. Actually, in the top of this, there is a platform to have space to turn a wheelchair around. This is a flex step. If you push a button, it conforms to a platform and raises up. This is a vertical platform lift. This is, outdoors, you see it often. It takes the wheelchair up and down. Our bathroom safety, we do roll-in showers, pedestal sinks. We do fantastic tub cuts. I don't have a photo of a tub cut. They're fantastic. If it's only a tub that you have, we have an adhesion. It's exactly as it sounds. We come in, we cut the tub out, cut the iron tub out, and an adhesive is put on top of it from Clean Cut Company. And now you're doing a small side step into the tub as opposed to an up and over, which is all the difference. We're talking a 2-hour installation, $2,200, grab bars everywhere. Solution is had while you go to the diner. And these are all grab bars everywhere. We love a grab bar. Shower handles can be the grab bar. And falling out of bed, huge transfer concern. We have things. Super Pole on the far right. It's fantastic. It suspends from floor to ceiling. It goes in the bathroom or even alongside the bed, as you see with the the harness to hold on to. And then next level, trapeze, ceiling track systems. We can move within from bed to standing or wheelchair, or we even go from room to room, from bedroom to bathroom, even into a family room. And we go through, and Mike will cut the inserts in the door frame and put the molding all around. So yes, that goes to the benefits of my guys who've been doing this for 30 plus years. And I just zipped through at the end because I'm being cautious of time. And if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them.
That was great. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? I'm looking at the chat box. I don't see anything. So, oh, no questions, but love the pups. Says
Oh,
Diana.
thank you.
So, as you can see, these two specializations that Tina was able to share with us and Kim was able to share with us are just so often come in contact with, I know my clients, the need is seen often with friends too, and family members. So I hope you all found this really helpful. I want to thank Tina and Kim so much for presenting for us today. Again, the work that you do is wonderful, and I'm glad to have you both as colleagues.
Thanks.
So,
Right back at you, Nicole.
thank you. All right, so if we don't have any more questions, have a wonderful rest of your week. And again, we'll record this so that it'll be sent out as well. So if you missed any piece of it, you can access it again.
Thank you so much for coordinating this, Nicole. It was great.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
Tina. Thank you. Thank you, Kim.
Bye for now.
Yes,
Bye.
bye for now. Take care.